For many dementia residents, it's not their own dementia that's the most challenging aspect living in a dementia unit, but the challenging behaviour of other dementia residents, because it's very open plan in a dementia unit with many concentric rings of challenge. I mean, there's a challenge of residents trying to get out, banging at the door, that's one level. And then there's the nurses station with all the phone calls and conversations and medication trolleys. Then there's the kitchen and the clatter of getting meals, morning and afternoon tea. And then, of course, distressing behaviour anywhere in the big lounge, and the inner circle near the TV where people are trying to relax and listen to what's going on. So it really is essentially just one big open plan lounge, and everyone likes to be there. It's not like hospitals or nursing homes with lots of people in their own rooms. They like the lounge. So with that, if you are in the lounge, you've got all these aspects to tolerate and put up with. So in conclusion to this particular point, anyone living in a dementia unit deserves encouragement, support, and big congratulations, really. It's no easy task living in a dementia unit, not at all. And for anyone to be able, any dementia resident, to be able to keep their tolerance and their stability and keep their strength of character going without, becoming negative or bitter or really stressed being the main thing, because it is stressful. It's so easy to let your anxiety rise up in a dementia unit and for it to get out of control. The main thing is really to hold on to your own strength and willpower, garner tolerance, and just keep yourself stable and calm. If you can manage that, living in a dementia unit, to keep calm and carry on, that deserves enormous, enormous credit. And it's not to be underestimated. So when you're with your mother and you can see she's making an effort, or if you're with your mother and she's calm and stable, she will be making an effort, because there is so much to be able to tolerate: noise level, activity level, distressing behaviour level, etc. I mean, within the dementia unit, there's still friendships, there's activities, there's fun, there's humour, there's good things that go on, but still, ultimately, it's a busy place. And all the nursing cares need to be done, the meals need to be had, and it's all happening in one big room, the lounge. I mean, they call the nursing station, and the dining area, and then the lounge, but it's just all one big room. It's not like there's walls in between to buffer the sound. So really, it's actually a good idea to go to the dementia unit if you're a relative and just sit there for a day or even half a day, and you'll see the goings on. It's not quite so apparent if you just come in for short visits and then leave, because everyone's got tolerance anyway for half an hour of disturbance or challenge, but try it for 4 hours or 8 hours, really. It takes some will to get through it. Now, the dementia residents who are well supported do better in terms of being able to keep their mood calm and stable. If you're a dementia resident who has a cold room and an uncomfortable room, which you wouldn't want to go back to rest in, and you don't have the support of friends and families, then you're more likely to escalate with challenging behaviour. But if you have a warm room to go to, comfortable bedding, friends and family that support, then you're more likely to be settled and relaxed. So the support networks in place for dementia residents are so essential for them to be able to remain stable and calm and not escalate up with anxiety, because not just for the person themselves, but it only takes one escalated dementia resident and it can just be all day stress in the unit, just on and on with them calling out. And you can imagine with 30 other residents trying to keep, settled when you've got one person calling out all day. It's really challenging. And the thing is, you can't put them in their room. There's no locks on doors in dementia units, and you can't put them in their room because they'll just walk out. So really, and it's so limited actually what you can do. I mean, with the dementia residents in the workshop, sometimes one of them would call out and say, be quiet, to the dementia resident that was calling out that they wanted to go home, or where was their son, or whatever. And the other dementia residents ended up saying, just be quiet, won't make any difference, it'll just make it worse. So really, the only option that was left was to tolerate, to sit and tolerate, which is a remarkable strength of will, to be able to tolerate when you've got a lot of noise going on around you. But they did. These dementia residents did. They supported each other, they were a team, they worked hard, they concentrated, and they would just tolerate. Now, sometimes a male resident would go over and de-escalate the woman that was calling out. That was a great help, but sometimes it would only be 10, 15 minutes respite, but still that was a help. Occasionally, a very courageous resident would encourage the person over into the group. That was a bit of a challenge. 5 minutes to get them settled in the chair, and 5 minutes, and they'd generally be back to the same activity. But still, the effort was made. But the main thing was that dementia residents decided they just needed to sit there, tolerate, put up with it, and hopefully it would settle in time. I mean, it did take some time, because some of these residents, their behaviour can be ongoing for days and weeks on end. But the dementia residents in this group, it was like the tolerance that they developed was almost like an invincible tolerance, where somehow they garnered such a strength that actually the disturbance didn't disturb them in the end. It was really incredible when they were focused, when they were concentrated, when they were interested in the workshop and all together focusing on whatever that wonderful topic was, David Attenborough, COVID, global 19, technology. When they were all focused in, it didn't matter what was happening around, it didn't reach them. And when relatives came into the unit, you could see that they were getting distressed with the disturbance or noise, but not the group. Because once you get to a certain level of concentration, it's a constant focus. You can actually maintain and keep it without any distractions or any disturbance or anything else getting in the way. It's a supreme effort. But when these dementia residents managed to garner that, they could hold on to that concentration for 1.5 hours. No distraction of technology, no distraction of addictions, distraction of noise, but somehow they seemed to be able to override that. And of course, they were more settled as a result and less disturbed themselves, They weren't allowing themselves to be disturbed by the other dementia residents, which is a remarkable skill. So these people really deserve so much credit living in such facilities. I mean, when you've got 30 people living in a place, it's like 10 families living open plan. It's like a boarding school. But at least in boarding school, the kids get out for 7 hours a day when they're at school. They get holidays, they get big Christmas breaks, they get out onto the sports field. There's lots of breaks when they're outside boarding school. Whereas in a dementia unit, it's full-time, full-on, 24/7. And to be able to manage that, to be able to greet you with a smile when you come and visit them, to be able to be pleasant, all deserves enormous credit from us. So we really need to appreciate the efforts of these dementia residents and the effort they make to stay in such facilities and keep calm and carry on. It's really remarkable. So I've written these 2 books on these topics, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, both on Amazon and my website, pietavalentine.com. And thank you for all your subscriptions coming in. I'm noticing, very good. Thank you so much for your support and your comments. Please pass on the links and please keep subscribing, those of you listening to this channel. Thank you.